Pep Talk UK, Pro Beez, at home, staying at home, following the government's guidelines and making sure that we don't go out there and we don't spread any viruses, self-distancing and self-isolation.
Yeah,
And also, I'm delighted to be joined by a man that actually is also following the government's guidelines. Once again, Mr. Dean Whyte, how are you, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm trying to do my best as well, man. Get my little exercise in and stuff. Today I went for a little run, did some sprints, trying to keep the fat busters at bay, man, because you're piling on the pounds, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I must admit, when you're at home and you've got the macaroni cheese in the fridge, it's easy to walk back and forth to your desk and get a few more plates,
Listen, to be honest, like when you're in here, there's a possibility of getting everything. I'm doing biscuits, alcohol, jelly, crisps. I think I'm eating way more than I'm used to eating. I don't even tend to eat that much like that, you know what I mean? But obviously prone to eating a lot more now as you've got a lot more time on your hands and stuff. But that's why I started to get back out there and say, let me try and do some cardio, do some little power walks, taking them long walks very serious, getting some runs in, and doing the sprints also, man. The sprints are important, man. You know what I mean? To help your metabolism to try and speed them up so you burn a lot more fat. So I'm roughly staying the same weight, so I'm happy with that. But at the same time, like definitely over the top in this sort of thing with like the biscuits, custard creams with a cup of tea, going down well.
Yeah. I think since the last time I saw you, we were at the Usyk versus Chisora press conference.
Yeah.
And I think the outbreak kind of just started at that time. And who would have known that it would have just gone mad?
I wouldn't say it started that time. I wouldn't say that. But obviously, I think it started to become a little bit more serious, I'd say, or in the public domain, because it was around before that, obviously from the Wuhan stuff and stuff that was going on in China. I think, being home now actually kind of allows me to probably check out what's been going on the back and forth, because I remember there was riots in China before. I didn't really pay attention to what they was actually about. So obviously now checking, because I've got more time on my hands, you go into things a bit more thorough and more detailed. So now looking into it, it seems the riots, or allegedly, the riots are stemming from the 5G towers, what they were putting up, and a lot of people were ill, and I think that's what they were stemming from. And then afterwards, I think a lot of people started getting the illness from the coronavirus. So it's quite weird, like when we're actually thinking back of all the stuff that's happening across the road, which we sometimes think has nothing to do with us, because it's so far away. And I think that was the case here also. We was a bit naive to think, oh, that's in China. Well, that's in America. Well, that's in Italy.
Yeah.
That's
We
in
did
Belgium.
think that.
Oh, now we're at the border. Hey, we're in UK. So it was one of them. So now I think it is becoming a lot more clearer, because we've never seen anything like this. We've never seen a government implement a lockdown, not in my lifetime, or I don't know anyone else spoke to in their lifetime that a government's implemented something like this. So it's serious when it kind of go in this fashion, and now we're locked down. The football stopped, the boxing stopped, any format gathering is stopped. So it's definitely becoming an eye opener, and people are doing more education. There's quite a lot of conspiracy theories about what is this and what ain't that. But what I do know is I'm just trying to do whatever it takes to stay healthy and keep myself in good nick. So irrespective if it is the virus, boost my immune system, keep myself training, try and stay healthy, drink a lot of water, drink a lot of lemon water, drink a lot of lime water, eat fruits, eat biscuits, eat a bit of cake, eat a bit of jelly. All in balance, everything in balance, you know what I mean? If it is radiation, they say you should be taking iodine tablets to help detox the body of any form of radiation. And I've seen a lot of videos going around also about that, like, have you seen that yourself with people, they're walking around with the radiation monitors? I might want to check that out myself. I might even buy one just for the heck of it and just see, because people are walking places and saying, well, the radiation level in a Pacific area is high. It says dangerous, harmful. I wonder if it's true. A lot of these
Wow.
things are popping up. Have you seen them online? Obviously, that's all we can do. Everyone's online, watching stuff on Facebook, reading stuff on Google and YouTube, wherever you are. But there's a lot of stuff popping up about the radiation, and they're saying a lot of the roadworks underneath is a lot of radiation on the pavements and stuff. So maybe that's a
Wow.
reason. Maybe that's a reason why they're telling us to go out and have walks.
Wow.
Interesting.
But you know what? I think there's talk of lockdown until June. And I
Wow.
must admit, I ain't used to this. I mean, I think the last time I was in lockdown was when I was punished by my parents, back in the 80s.
Mate, I'm gonna be ripping my ear out. Trust me, bro. That is a long old time. Yeah, do you know what? I guess in the grand scheme, when you look at the better good of our society, the world we live in, I get it. It is a long time to try and get people to adhere to lockdown when you've lived your whole life being able to do as you kind of choose somewhat. I think if it wasn't enforced, people might be able to do it a little bit more easier. Because there are people who stay home for days on end and work from home and they have no issue. It's only because it's being forced on us. And some people are saying like, well, why should we listen to this? We're keeping our social distance. So even if we're outside or inside, it doesn't matter. That kind of thing. I don't know, but it's a bit of a weird one. But it's a long time, man. But listen, whatever the best is for, because there's a lot of people dying now, especially in the UK. We've seen what's happening in Italy and Spain, and the shortage of beds they had. But there are talk of a lot of people dying here in the UK, and actually, they're actually saying
Anthony
it's
Yards
actually,
died. Anthony
yeah,
Yards
imagine,
died.
yeah. Condolences to the Yard family and stuff. It's probably a very sad and trying time now because um, it's just one of those one things that's come on, and that COVID-19's come on and it's taken the whole world by storm. So yes, it's just sad, man. There's a lot of people there's a lot of people passing. I've got a lot of people, family, friends who have died today, yesterday, and so on as
Wow.
well. So yeah, it's very serious, man. So we definitely got to do our part, but that's why I say it's important to do the other stuff. Even when you go outside, when you come back into your home to change the clothing you wear outside, because they're saying it can last in your clothes up to what 4, 6 hours or something like that, 12 hours. I don't even know.
That's deep.
Um, so if I go out, if I got clothes I wear outside, and when I come in, make sure I wash my hand, wash my face, and do stuff. Take my clothes off and just change it up, man. Because what you don't want to do is you come and you go and maybe sit on your sofa or you go and lie in your bed. You know what I mean? It's kind of, or you know what I mean? You could be like me going out for a run. I could be running past. So I don't know. Someone sneezes. I walk into it, it hits my clothes. It doesn't hit me, but it hits my clothes, and it's in there. You know what I mean? It starts to spread. I don't know how it spreads, but all we can do is try to be as vigilant as possible and try and be as smart and educate ourselves. Um, and we're all kind of conspiracy theorists at the end of the day. One way or the other, we all think, well, it could be this, it could be that, or we know this, we didn't know that. But the bare minimum you want to do is try to. What we do know is, they're saying a certain temperature it can't live in. So steaming one's face with the hot water and drinking hot water with lemon and drinking teas and so on. So, hey, what's that you just done there?
I don't know, something just flickered, but hey, nah, do you know what? I think the best thing is that people educate themselves, read, follow the government guidelines, and just be safe out there. And if we're safe out there and we do the right thing, then hopefully we can get over this and stop this punishment. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All right, so the boxing announcement by the British Boxing Board of Control: no boxing events to the end of May, which has affected Team Body Snatcher somewhat. So no more May 2nd.
No more May 2nd, man. Do you know it was always on the horizon, you know, because obviously, have you noticed there hasn't been any more announcements or promotions and so on? It was always going to be difficult once they took away the promoter's license and stopped all boxing events until April the 3rd. Look, we're on April the 3rd already this week. So now that's coming. They're going to probably extend it another 4 weeks as they've done. So it was always on the horizon. Eddie Hearn said, like, when we was at the weigh-in, he was saying, him and Adam Smith was virtually saying there and then that the likelihood of the event, that event they're going on would be very slim. And that event was on May the 23rd. So, you know, if that had a slim chance, you know, the Dillian'S event was virtually kaput as well. So it's just what it is. But in the safety of the health of the fans, the public, and, you know, just the safety of our country, you know, you've got to do what's best and the right thing. Unfortunately, you know, they're in camp training and trying to do as best as they can and be in shape to prepare for that day. And now it's been pulled. But as professionals, they got a job to do, so they had to continue training irrespective. But yeah, it's just as it is. It's sad times, man. Because you know what? When you're a boxing fan and you love boxing, it's like this is real punishment. If you had to stay in and there was boxing and things you could watch on TV and UFC, wouldn't be so bad. But all the events have actually been halted also. So you know we've got lots of knock-on effects. But you know it's what it is. It's a pandemic across the board around the whole world. So you know. I'm sure there's worse places than here and are having a lot more issues. I saw some stuff in South Africa. Did you see that in South Africa?
Heard some brief news.
Yeah,
Some brief.
you know, like a lot of them are living in huts and stuff, and there's like 8 people, 6 people to one house. And the guy was saying, how do you suggest we stay indoors where there's no space and such confinement? You know, a lot of the time we only have to sleep in it, so that's just bearable to deal with. And they had lines and they was trying to get people to conform to social distancing, and it just weren't working. They had one police officer, one old guy, that was trying to shout at them. I think they were trying to go shopping, but yeah, it just didn't work out for them. It was even worse because they were really confined together because they had a gate and they had to wait for queue for hours to get into the gate to go shopping. So they're probably making it worse there, to be honest. They should probably just let them do what they're doing because it's probably not as easy. But and a lot of people saying, to be honest, it doesn't survive in hot countries. So I'm surprised that they actually got the pandemic there. But hey, listen, again, this is just theories of people, you know. So, yeah, I don't know.
So Povetkin, obviously, he's getting on. As time passes and as the boxing calendar gets shifted, it's going to be interesting to see how he readjusts as well, because basically he's going to be a little bit older. Dillian Whyte's going to be a lot more stronger with a longer camp. And some might say that it swings the pendulum even more in Dillian Whyte's way for that eventual fight in July the 4th, Independence Day, baby.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I felt like the pendulum would have been in his court anyway. He's the fresher with less mileage on the clock, young, hungry bull. Not to say Povetkin is not hungry, because it's like he's got opportunity at his age, and for me, showing signs of, you know, he's still performing really great. Like Klitschko was at that kind of age, you know what I mean, against
coconut water, man. It's the coconut water
against Hunter. So for me, I think it's that. But like you said, what I will say is, I think the longer it does, you know, Dillian is in camp and training, I think the more devastating and destructive he will be, because he's going to be in better shape. So, you know, it's just one of them. And he's working hard. I'm sure as they both are working hard. All of these guys are athletes and professionals. So, you know, they're always going to be training and ticking over and trying to get themselves and work on stuff. So, I don't know. But to be honest, I'm not sure. I haven't heard much about Russia having to deal with
COVID-19.
I think China, well, allegedly again, China told Russia about this and they closed up shop from January. So they weren't really playing no games out there. So I don't know. It's interesting. I've not heard nothing. Putin ain't playing anyway, man. Them man is due to probably be executing a bag of people. That man is nuts, fam. That man is out there trying to, I don't know, keep up the most. You get me?
Mm. So we talked about a shift in the calendar as well. That's also shifted that mega fight that we witnessed in Las Vegas, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. I mean, there's many questions out there about Deontay Wilder. I mean, effectively, a shift to October the 3rd of the third fight is going to give Deontay Wilder more time to work on things and to, tighten the skills and the armory for Tyson Fury, who looked like an absolute beast in the second fight. I mean, can Wilder, can he learn and adopt new things to give Fury something to think about other than the right hand, October the 3rd?
Do you know what? It's difficult because he's been a professional for such a long time. It all depends on who he brings in, if he respects them enough to listen to what he's being told to learn, because he's had it his own way for a long time. Because like he kept talking about his Alabama power, that right hand, and in two fights, that Alabama power really, not saying it didn't work, because he dropped him twice, but he lost the first fight and he lost the second fight terribly bad. Um, I just think at the time it's probably giving him the help which he's so is needed for him in his camp, so he can go back to the drawing board. He's going to have a long time from February to October to go back and hone his skills and tighten up his skills and understand boxing a little bit more. You know what I mean? Not sure there's going to be a different outcome. I don't think there will be. But anything's possible. It's heavyweight boxing. But yeah, I think the time, if he uses it rightly, I think he could look better. I think he could look better in this in himself. You know, maybe I'm thinking, would someone like Virgil Hunter be good for
Mm,
him?
mm.
I don't know. Maybe someone like Earl Spence's coach or something. I don't know. You know, like
Yeah, because they're all boys, isn't it? They're all boys. Yeah. They're all
yeah, it's down
friends.
to him. I know he's got a good guy. What is it? A two-time Olympian, world champion in his corner. But then sometimes it's if if you don't respect that coach enough when he's telling you something, you're not listening. You know, I think Paulie was kind of talking about the yes man syndrome. If there's not enough stand-up guys in your corner that talk to you and say something to you when they don't think whatever you're saying is correct, or if you're not, like if your coach says something, man, and then you say, man, shut up, man, I'm going to do it my way. This is what we're going to do. You just shut up and hold the pads, man. Like that kind of. Because a lot of the guys, if you notice, I think he talked about it once about the guys who he brought in and different guys to hold different pads because he was blowing out his trainer, that Jay Diaz's hands
JD.
and yeah, his elbows and so on. So he had to have different, So I don't know. I think he needs to get a bit more techers. I think he needs to learn how to fight. In fact, I think maybe what might be good for him is if he maybe instead of done head sparring, work on body sparring, maybe a bit. I think that might be a bit better for him, because that allows you to understand sitting in a pocket and working when you can't be head, that because a lot of people go head hungry, you know what I mean,
Mm.
and when they go head hunting, so and I think it allows you to sit in the pocket and work because when he was pushed back, even if he's being pushed back and he's doing body sparring, at least he knows the potential is you might get stopped by a body shot, but at least you ain't going to get knocked out or whatever. But you can work on stuff like that. And body
Because we saw
sparring
we
does,
saw Fury, put him down with a body shot, which
yeah,
which in his artillery was was amazing. To be fair, that really showed that he's worked on things in camp,
yeah,
pre-fight,
yeah.
variation.
And obviously, some inside info. I heard they didn't even they didn't even spar for a 12-round fight. They knew or they believed or they was working on that they wasn't going to go the distance. So, yeah, it's one of them. I heard he didn't do one 12-round sparring.
Wow. So
So
just picking up from a comment that I saw Dillian put out there, he said that
no,
basically.
bear with me. Keep this, stay there. This thing's not charging. Sorry, one second. Yeah, sorry about that. Go on, nice charging. Go on.
Yeah.
What
So
did you
just
say?
picking up something I saw out there, Dillian Whyte saying that he wanted to fight Deontay Wilder because he knew he could have done what Tyson Fury did to him in the second fight. I mean, would you make of those comments?
Ah, this is something he said from a long time ago. He said, he's always said that. Listen, Deontay Wilder is a bully, and he likes to fight bullies. If you go back and look at it, he said that. What happens when the bully starts to get bullied? The likelihood is he'll crumble. The best way to fight him is to push him back. And it just showed, that was actually the remedy and antidote to defeat this man. He can't fight on the back foot. He's not a fighting man. There still was danger there for Tyson Fury because he was caught with the right hand at times, but he was able to roll, take the shots, and come back with his own shots. And he showed time and time again what a hell of a chin he's got. He will go down, but you need to nail him down to the ground or kill him, as he says, And he showed time and time again. So for me, that's why it's such a great feat because of what he's come back from, But Dillian said from the beginning, and I've always said Dillian's style is a style that potentially could upset the apple cart because look, the body shots that Tyson Fury find, they're not the type of body shots Dillian Whyte throws. He's not called a body stature for no reason, you know what I mean? So I think
Mm.
the kind of body shots, and I think I said it before, I think they'd probably end up cutting Deontay Wilder in half, you know what I mean?
Wow, wow, wow. Well,
Let me not stop there. What I'm saying, don't get confused like it's a one-way battle because at the same time, it would be a very hard feat because he's a champion. He was undefeated, but he just had the remedy, I think, the style, the heart, the desire, the will and purpose. And when you're not afraid, it shows in fighters who are not afraid to take punishment and dish out punishment. So, let me not discredit the man totally.
do you think people out there in the boxing community need to put some more respect on Deontay Wilder's name? I mean, he has put down everyone he's faced, everybody.
Of course, you need to respect the man. There's no way how can you not respect someone what was he 43 and 0 or something like that, 42 and 0 or something, whatever it was, with 41 knockouts.
41 and a half,
He-
as he was.
Hell of a resume, hell of a resume. You can only but respect that because what you got to appreciate, he still went in there and beat who was in front of him, and that's all you can ask of people. And he didn't beat them by going the distance. He beat them in emphatic fashion with smoke with straight knockout. You understand? Or technical knockout, but all
Nice.
knockout. You
Yeah.
understand? You understand? He was doing straight flatlining. So come on, man. That in itself is respect. As a boxing fan, come on. You got to respect what he's done in the sport of boxing and put himself and his family in a very, very comfortable position. And why he came into boxing was for his daughter and stuff and the health of her and wanting to better his life and so on. So you only can commend someone like that. As much as we talk, I'm a fan of my bro, I'm a fan of the other boxers because I love the sport of boxing. I'm a fan. So when I look at things, I do look at things with an open mind also. I'm always gonna back my bro irrespective of what. But I do look at things a little bit more open minded. But Deontay Wilder, hats off to him. Him and Tyson Fury put up a hell of a fight over the two first legs. Um, and in the third fight, if I want to throw some controversy in there, there possibly might be an upset. He might even win, and then they do a full fight, because it's quite weird that they got a draw. Then Tyson Fury wins. Potentially, if they make him win the third fight, I'm not swearing at you guys, by the way. and then they can do a full fight, So I don't know. That's just me being a conspiracy theorist. I don't know what's going to happen, but let's see, because there's a lot of money on the line for them boys. You know what I mean? So there's many, but I can't see him beating Tyson Fury. I think he's got his number, and Tyson Fury is just a hell of a boxer, man. You know what I mean? And he showed in there actually. He's actually a fighting man, and he said, I think him and Dillian would be an absolute great fight because they're both, fighters. And Dill will sit there and fight with him as well. So But he's very tall, he's very big, and what he done is he used his size very, very, very well. You know what I mean, against Deontay Wilder in that fight.
Cracking stuff. Well, my dinner's getting cold. And,
What your dinner?
my dinner's getting cold. You know, some scampi. Only joking.
Man said scampi. You know what the hell? Well, let me get back to your scampi, man. Thanks for calling, and I'm sure we'll catch up again. You know, as always, man.
And one last message to the people out there about staying home.
Yeah, you know, stay home, stay safe. Come out for your essentials if you need to come out and buy stuff, and keep yourself well. Make sure you boost your immune system. Go for your walks, go for your runs, eat some fruit, drink a bit of alcohol, burn that shit out of you, baby. We got to keep a balance. It's all a balance.
That's it. All right, Pep Talk, Pro Beez. Make sure you subscribe, like, share.